imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
I have somewhat of a serious video again. I'm not really a funny person. I'm not exactly a serious person as well, but I'm just not comical. I don't know how to crack jokes and be funny. Yeah. So today I'm gonna talk about oh my god. I literally forgot what I was gonna talk about. Shit. Today I'm gonna talk about coming out. And let me be clear, I'm not just talking about coming out of the closet about your sexuality. I'm talking about everything. Coming out is a process, as I see, as you showing to the world your true self. And it doesn't have to be like the world as in like the entire world. It can be your world, meaning your circle, like your friends, your family, or just your family, or just your friends. You know, it depends. I guess you decide what your world is. So yeah, I feel like coming out is that process, and that process is always so difficult. For me, I have come out about my passion, like, you know, me sharing about my passion, like, oh, this is my passion, and this is what I want to do, and stuff like that. So that was, I guess, the first one. And then about my mental health, you know, I finally had this moment where I took off the mask, and I was like, this is what's behind it, and I don't always smile, I don't always laugh, and, you know, even if I do, those are not real, and, you know, that was difficult as well. And then very recently, last year, I came out about my sexuality, and for some reason that was the hardest one, and it could possibly be because I was not mentally in a good space to begin with, so that just added on to the whole process. But it was just really a very different experience in my life. So I'm not speaking for anybody. I'm just sharing my story in this, and I believe that everybody has somewhat of a similar or has some sort of story about their coming out. Like I said, it doesn't have to be about your sexuality. Like, it can be anything, you know, and that showing your true self to the world can be really, really difficult and scary. And last year I had this moment where I wanted to tell my friends and family about my, you know, finally realized sexuality. Like that moment, I just wanted to share that experience. And one part of myself is like, you know, you don't have to tell this to anybody. This is your thing, and maybe you tell your partner. Like, you don't have to tell everybody. But then I also wanted to share this. I don't know, it just felt so special to me that I wanted to share it. It is like the same as I found something that I feel so passionate about, like a book that I really like, and I just really want to share that book. I want to share that experience, so I really wanted to share this. And obviously I knew who I wanted to share with, my really close, I had some bunch of close people in my life that I wanted to share this with. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But something hit me, like, I don't know from where this came, but a part of me suddenly was like, what if I get rejected? What if these people walk away from my life after hearing this thing? and this is something that has never come to my mind before. I've never been afraid of that because I've just always had this trust for the people in my life that, you know, they love me and they're not just gonna abandon me like that. But I guess I had this recent fear, I don't know from where, that, you know, people are gonna leave me and stuff like that just because, I don't know, I did something that they didn't like and they just leave me. I do a lot of things that people don't like, so I guess that little stupid fear was just growing in me, and this point it was just like, just it that fear just latched onto this and it just exploded, and it was scary, honestly. I had multiple nights where I couldn't sleep and I was just crying, and it was just so, I was living alone at this time, so I was sort of glad that I was living alone because I could cry out loud and I could like scream out loud. I didn't have to hold anything inside me, but it was also that I was alone, and it just made me realize that if I say this out loud and if it is not accepted and if people walk away from my life and I have nobody left in my life, then I'm gonna be alone. And for the first time in my life I was afraid to be alone, because here's the thing, I love being alone. Like, I like living alone. I'm you know, I like the idea of being alone, but I am never actually alone. Like, I have a family to go back to, a really good family to go back to. I have a really good set of friends to go back to. So I'm never actually alone, even if I'm living alone or if I'm going on a solo trip or whatever. I'm not still emotionally or mentally alone, if that makes sense. So that moment was the first time when I was like, oh my god, if this goes wrong, then for the first time I would actually be alone. And that terrified me. And I had weeks of horrible nights, and it was just maddening. And the funny thing is, like I said, I trust the people in my life that they won't leave me, but that 1% of fear, like that, I trust them 99%, but there's this 1% of doubt that, oh my god, what if they do? What if they do leave me? What if they go like, we don't accept this, so we're just gonna, you know, cut you off from our family? I know it's so stupid, and I bet that when my family hears this, they'd be like, this is so dumb, we will never do that to you. But that 1% was so hard to just ignore and push aside. At the time, it was really hard to do so. And the reason why that 1% was so hard to push aside is because I kept hearing stories about these other people coming out and who didn't expect their family to react so poorly, but they did, and everything just fell apart. And I was like, I don't expect that either. And it was terrifying. Now when I look back to it, I think that, oh, I only went through it for like a few weeks. There are people who live with that for years, and I guess I got lucky because even after I did come out, I was fortunate that I was accepted so well. So when somebody comes out to you, when they put this themselves in front of you, and you know, that is something that took a lot of courage. So when somebody does that, the least you can do, I mean, there are many things that you could do, but the first thing that you could do is just listen, because they have rehearsed this thing in their head, and they've been probably rehearsing this for like months, you know, like days and days of rehearsal, like, oh, I'm gonna say it like this, I'm gonna say it like that. They have been doing this in their head. They have been going crazy about this. So just let them get it all out and just let them say it. Let them cry. Let them just like get it all out. And just listen, like actually listen to when they're speaking. Like, don't look at your phone. Don't look away. Make eye contact. Just show them that you are there, that you are listening. And once you are listening, and once you show them that they're heard, just don't make it about you. This is not about you. They are putting their true selves out to you. It takes a lot of courage, but they're putting it out to you. That means you are somebody really special in their life, because they're especially coming to you and telling you something that's so personal and so close to them. It took a lot of courage, but they chose you. But that doesn't mean that it is about you. It is still about them. Don't make it about you. It is not like, for example, like when I came out about my mental health, I had moments where people were like, you know, what did I do wrong? Or what, you know, like those kind of statements and questions. And I'm like, this is not about you. You're supposed to ask me, like, what am I exactly going through? You're supposed to, this is like, it's not about you. I don't know how to like say this better than just saying that it's not about you. So don't make it about you. It's just give them that space to say everything that they want to say. Give them that space where they can you know, let them just say it and make them feel heard, and make them realize that it is still about them, that they probably chose you, but it's not about you. The next thing that you could do is verbally, very clearly tell them, because at this moment they are in like in this haze in their head, and they're not, many times they're not able to connect things, or they're just sort of in a haze is the best way I could put it. So really clearly verbally tell them that you are there for them, that you love them, and you are seriously there for them. That, you know, just make them hear that, make them listen to that, make them believe that you are there for them, that you do love them. And it is so important for them to know that nothing's going to change. That was another good thing that happened in my life. And in everything that well, not in everything, but most of the things, that nothing actually changed after that. Well, when I came out about my mental health, a few things did change. Like, people around me got a little more sensitive. I understand why you would want to do that, but it's not something I want. I don't want the change. I want you to know that, and I just wanted you to check in on me. And even when I came out about my sexuality, it was just nothing really changed. Everybody treated me the same way, and I like that, because I was afraid that the girls in my life would be a little awkward around me, especially during sleepovers or anything like that. And fortunately, I've not had that experience, and no girl has come up to me and said that, oh, so you have a crush on me. No, I've not had those stereotypical things happen to me, and I guess I'm really fortunate about those things. So that's what I'm trying to say, like, make them feel like nothing has changed, and make them believe that them being more them is something that you really appreciate, because they are being more open about who they are to you. So you're given the responsibility to make them feel validated, to make them feel like, yes, you being more you is amazing, and I love you, and I'm here for you, and nothing's gonna change. If you're a sibling and you siblings just fight or whatever, you still have the same silly fights, and that's amazing. That's what a person wants in their life, to nothing change. And that's the one thing that they're afraid of, like, things are going to change. And just show them that everything's okay. Yeah, and just keep telling them that you love them, but don't drag this thing too long. You finish it in like half an hour and that's it. Actually, it kind of depends on person to person, but for me, I don't like things to be dragged too long. Yeah. And one of the most important things to remember at such times is to not, like, definitely not try to correct them, to try and tell them that, oh no, what you're feeling is wrong, don't feel this way, or hey, this is not socially accepted, or whatever, don't say that. Like I said, it is not about you. It is not about what you think. It is not about what your response is. It is not about you. It is still about the person who is telling you all these things. So just love them,